So today's topic is basically using TOR over VPN. And my answer is don't, an operator, right? And I am at a Starbucks, completely anonymous, right? Like completely anonymous. And I visit a website, for example, abc.abc, and I want to get information, target them, and I'm using a VPN and TOR over VPN for a lot of security, right? And I'm like, yeah, there's so multiple levels of security and nobody can track me now, right? It's very hard, right? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the guy with the gray hat. Welcome to my channel. I apologize for being MIA for such a long time. I was actually busy setting up my company. It's called defzero. It's a cybersecurity company. But now it's set up and now I'm back. So today's topic is basically using TOR over VPN. And my answer is don't. I'll explain why. So when you're using TOR, if you don't know what TOR is, check out these videos. It actually explains what TOR is and how to access TOR. And if you don't know what VPN is, then you can visit this and check out the video in which I explain VPN and what it is and how to be completely anonymous. So it's natural, right? Whenever we say, yeah, multiple layers of defense. First thing, VPNs don't protect you. They're not a security thing. They're a privacy thing, right? They make your connection private so that ISP or other snoopers cannot snoop. With TOR, it's the same. But there are like two things that I'm going to explain which would hopefully convince you not to use TOR with VPN. The first thing, a scenario, right? So I am an operator, right? And I am at a Starbucks, completely anonymous, right? Like completely anonymous. And I visit a website, for example, abc.abc, and I want to get information, target them, and I'm using a VPN and TOR over VPN for a lot of security, right? And I'm like, yeah, there's so multiple levels of security and nobody can track me now, right? It's very hard, right? Wrong. The thing is that even if you're at a Starbucks, there are no cameras, you have a hat or a PCAP, or you're doing everything right from an operations security perspective, right? The bad news is the VPN part. Why? Okay, so when they see the IP address of the attacking party, they would see the IP address of TOR, yeah? There are ways to leak the private or the home or IP address of your ISP even when you're using TOR or web, right? For instance, your IP gets leaked. Now they know that which service provider you're using. They go to that company, they get a subpoena, they get, however they do social engineering. If they're criminals, they do social engineering. If they own the government, they can send, an official court letter or anything, and they can take your information. What information does a VPN provider have? VPN providers have a lot of information about you. They do the whole KYC thing, right? So they know your address, your credit card number, your phone number, where you live, everything, right? It comes in the address. The company actually knows, or whomever is tracking you now knows where you live and which connection you use and what you do. So basically, you sitting in a Starbucks or I think like a million miles away from where you live, doesn't matter. They got you, right? Because not many VPN providers, they accept crypto. I just heard about Mulvad VPN, MULLVAD VPN. They accept Monero. I don't know, I've never tested them. I don't know how their servers perform, but there is one VPN provider which offers or accepts crypto. But still, now I come to the second part. Many people might be using TOR, right? Kids, criminals, journalists. If someone just wants to be anonymous, right? They might be using TOR. But if for example, I'm using TOR, right, from home, my ISP knows I'm using TOR. This is from my side. From the other side, if I legitimately visit a website, right? Sorry. What happens is that if that server gets hacked, right? So they get the list of all the IP addresses that visited it, right? They somehow, because of my browser setting or something, my home IP gets leaked, right? And as I mentioned, I'm just using Tor for normal browsing. I'm not doing anything shady, you know. They look at the IP address and they say, oh, that's a home IP address. Okay, yeah, let's check out other history about this IP address and blah blah blah. They talk to the ISP, like, yeah, okay, this is logged. Okay, yeah, fine. But if they actually look at my IP address and in the logs, and then they somehow trace back the whole IP address, and they go to a NordVPN, they're like, okay, this guy's using Tor, and then over NordVPN or Proton VPN or Freedom or any other VPN that you can think of, or for that mobile VPN, right? They would say, yeah, it will be a red flag, right? It will say, okay, why is this guy so paranoid? He's doing something shady, right? So that's the analysis part. So that's by pattern they can actually sort of get to you, right? And then if they get your personal information wherever you're sitting, they don't know, okay? Now the second scenario, if you're just using Tor and you're at Starbucks in, say, Switzerland, right? You're wearing a hat, you're wearing everything, okay, you do something, you're a journalist, right? Malicious governments are trying to track you, right? So, like in the movies, right? You're Tom Cruise, you're doing that, and then the bad guys, they're sort of tracking you, and they sort of come to the IP address where you were last seen, right? Or last accessed. But they won't see much. They would most probably ask around, okay, did you see this guy? Nah, no, I don't know, blah, 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 whatever. And it will be gone. Your home IP address, your home address, everything will be safe. So this way, you can be trapped. That's why I say there are other ways to protect yourself, to have multiple layers, but I will not mention them here. Suffice it to say that do not use Tor over VPN, just use Tor, and that's it. And if you want to be really, really paranoid, use Tails OS, Tails USB drive, and go to a Starbucks or somewhere and then use it, and you're good to go. Stay safe. Peace.